Good morning, everybody. Arend here from Countryside Acres. We are in Countryside Acres. Look, there's Countryside Acres sign. Okay, I'm gonna be working on the wall here. So, obviously, if you've been watching for a while, we've built this entire house. And there's a mess everywhere because we're living in it now. And there's a lot of people. There's 10 people in here. But I never got everything done because we had to move in. We couldn't stay where we were living. And so we moved into the house. And then some stuff just quit. We got busy with other things, never finished. So right now, I'm gonna try to finish the stairwell. At least the mudding portion, so Anneesa can paint the rest of this and repaint this. Children going up and down really did a number on the paint. I still gotta build a wall here for the plumbing. I'm not doing that right now. What I'm gonna try to do is work on this. I got some sanding to do and some more mudding to do. So this is a transition between the two floors and it required quite a bit of mud. I don't know if you can tell. It's pretty uneven here still. I think, it's been a while, but I think everything up there was done. I just needed to finish this joint here, this joint, and I think that's it. But I can't honestly remember. Maybe up here something too. I'm gonna run a sander over it all. And I think this side was done too. No, it looks like some sanding needs to happen, yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna run a sander over it all. And then throw another coat of mud on here for sure, because I know it needs it. And then hopefully Anneesa will be able to paint and this part will be done. So she's got more paint. We started repainting, found some better quality. We've been very disappointed with the quality of the paint so far that we bought. Not happy with it at all. She found some better stuff online, or at least so far it seems better. So she's repainted the bathroom, and over here in the living room, she has also repainted 2 walls. So it just looks so much nicer. So now she's going with a different color here, but of the same company, better quality. She wants to repaint this and into the kitchen. Girls are cleaning up right now. And like I said, I'll try to get this done so she can paint it as well. Try to freshen it up a bit. Alright, next stage I gotta mix up the mud so it comes in a pail at a certain consistency. I buy wet mud in a pail. Yes, you can buy it in a bag, you can buy it lots of places. I like buying it in a pail. I find it a whole lot simpler for me to work with. Plus, I get to keep the pail when I'm done. And we use them on the farm all the time. So I'm gonna open it up. I'm gonna take out what I think I need, and I'm gonna mix extra water in it. The reason I do that is because it's a much nicer consistency, nicer texture to work with when it's got a little bit extra water in it. And it just spreads that much nicer. When it's dry, it's harder to get a nice look. So I add a little extra water to it to do that. Easier to work with, nicer finish, less air bubbles. So I'm gonna take care of that now. Okay, what I like to use is literally just a cake mixer. Okay, well now the machine's thrown out, but years ago I just kept snagging Anneesa's mixer for cakes and batter and whatever else. It works great. You put it in a cordless drill, it's perfect for mixing drywall mud. Okay, don't touch that, we'll get rid of this. So unfortunately, this is what happens when you have a pail open for a while. It dries out, and when you take the lid off, you get a whole bunch of chunks that land in there, and you don't want that. So scrape them all up. I'm going to throw this out, and then we will mix up our mud. It is nice when it is runny. It's easier to work with, but of course when it's runny, it also comes off the trowel much easier. So that brings me to the hawk. I wanted to explain a drywall hawk to anybody that doesn't know what it is. This is a hawk. I don't really know why I call it that. I presume because of falconry, where you would have a hawk sitting on your hand. I'm actually not 100% sure, but we call this a hawk. And one thing that is noticeable on it is all the circular lines. Okay, and those lines help prevent the drywall mud from running off the side. It doesn't stop it, of course, but there's little ridges that help keep the mud on it. And then you have to constantly work at scraping and putting it back on, of course, but very helpful. They're just barely noticeable ridges. But if they're dry, it does help. Right now it's wet, of course. I'd have to dry this before I put more mud on, or it'll really slide off fast. And then of course, having a loose or wet, no, not wet, kind of like peanut butter, I guess, but that even depends on where, maybe like a mayonnaise consistency, if that means anything. You got to play with it, because if it's too runny, then it just makes an awful mess. But if it's too dry, then it's hard to do a really nice job. So some kind of a fine balance, and then make sure you're using a good quality mud as well, because it also makes a big difference. So get yourself one of these, and it allows you to use a 12-inch trowel like I was using, which is good for a wide joint. The wider you go, the better. You'll have a crack in the drywall, and we have what we call tape joints and butt joints. So a tape joint has a natural taper on the edge of the sheets where the factory has actually beveled it a little bit. And then when you put tape on that and mud on that, it's very easy to blend in. A butt joint, on the other hand, is full size. And you still need to join the two sheets together, which you end up then with a little hump in the drywall. And you need to feather that out. That's exactly what I was doing here. You have to try to make it not noticeable to the eye. Light's flickering, eh? So, you have to make it not noticeable to the eye. So I have a full-size sheet here and a full-size sheet here meeting, and it creates a hump. It'll be hard to show here, I guess. But anyway, there is a hump here. And so the first pass, I cover that tape joint up. Second pass, I go from that tape joint to here. And then if it's really bad, sometimes we'll go even farther with a bigger trowel. Today I only have a 12-inch, so that's it, a 30-centimeter trowel. So I go from here to here and from here to here. Or what I'll do is I'll go with a 12-inch, 30 centimeters, right down the middle, and then go from that down and from that up, which gives you, 32 inches roughly of tape joint. That's another way of doing it, to feather it out. So some are easy. If you can see, like this joint didn't take much work, okay, because that is a tape joint. It's very simple, and you try to plan it out when you're doing your drywalling to have the joints in a convenient place. To have a butt joint on the edge doesn't matter because your corner bead covers it, and those are really simple to do. Now here again, you can see it, how narrow this one is. This, you can literally see where the mud is, and that's the bevel from one sheet and the bevel from the other sheet. It's pretty easy to mud. Versus this one, all right, so that was a tape joint. And this is a butt joint, and it goes from here all the way to the corner. It's a lot harder to hide that. So anyway, there's your tip. Now we wait for it to dry, and once it's dried up a bit, I will run another light sanding over it, and then take a look, see if we need any more touch-ups in some areas and stuff. But I think it's pretty much ready to paint now once I get it sanded, and that'll really make things look nice. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Pretty short little video, but anyway, it is what it is. God bless you. Catch you guys in another one. Oh, don't forget the links down below. Lots of links down below, lots of other stuff, and you can always go back on our channel to look at some of our old videos. There's lots of videos out there that I know you guys haven't watched, from our life in Canada before moving to Russia, and also our travels through the United States. All right, God bless you. Catch you later.